The mission failed, and I'm back in the real world with my family. My parents love me, my older brother spoils me, and my younger brother looks up to me. Until the system found me again. After you left the task, everyone discovered the fake rich girl was pretending to be depressed to gain affection. The people you were supposed to charm are deteriorating, some even suicidal. And your little brother, he cries at your grave until he passes out every day. Could you check on them? The system popped up when I was shopping with my brother. He was loading our cart with desserts, Wagyu beef, lamb chops, salmon, coffee beans, and signaled me to be quiet. Today's on me. Right then, a low voice entered my mind. Hello, host. I was momentarily confused about who it was until it continued. After you left the task, everyone discovered the fake rich girl was pretending to be depressed to gain affection. The people you were supposed to charm are deteriorating, some even suicidal. And your little brother, he cries at your grave until he passes out every day. Could you check on them? I thought I was hearing things. It had been 5 years since the mission happened. I had a car accident, and at the brink of death, I bonded with a guiding system, entering a fake rich girl novel. As the real rich daughter, I was supposed to charm the book's male lead, the real daughter's brother. Once his feelings reached 100%, I'd complete the task and stay in that world. I feared failure meant being erased entirely. Driven by desperation, I dove into the task. I figured that as long as I got along with the fake daughter and treated family genuinely, I should succeed. At first, it seemed to work. I didn't demand Clara, the fake daughter, leave the family. I avoided her traps, and the male lead, Ken, grew kinder towards me. The affection score quietly rose to 90. I thought I was close, but then it happened. At my recognition party, Clara jumped into the pool, attempting suicide. She was later diagnosed with depression. Ken held her dripping form, hatred in his eyes as he turned to me. Why did she get depressed precisely on your recognition day? You made her carry burdens that aren't hers. Why return to the family when you were wrongly given? You're not my sister. Is this family's real treasure? In 3 seconds, I lost the goodwill I had saved over 3 months, dropping to 25. I didn't give up and devised a new strategy. Ken adored his younger siblings. Treating them kindly would improve his opinion of me. So, I focused on the 5-year-old brother Nolan. Every time I saw him, I thought of my real-life brother Felix, treating him with sincerity. But he wasn't having it. Hey, why are you still here? When Clara was forgotten at kindergarten, I rushed to pick Nolan up. He hid behind the teacher. I don't know her. She's not my sister. She's a kidnapper. My sister is the nicest and prettiest, not old, ugly, and poor. Because of him, I was pinned by police and my wrist felt crushed. Ken arrived and dismissed it indifferently. Misunderstanding. She's a new nanny Nolan hasn't met. On the way home, Ken's affection plummeted to 10. And he raged at me. Clara's depressed and fragile, yet you dare go to Nolan's school claiming you're his sister? Clara's life was already hard. Competing with her is pathetic. Leaning on the window, I hoped Ken's words would blow away with the scenery. But in the reflection, I saw Nolan flipping me off. As I was reconsidering my approach, I saw hope. Nolan had leukemia, and I was the only bone marrow match. After the operation, everyone visited Nolan. I lay alone comforting myself. At least it wasn't a liver or kidney donation. I didn't know surgery held risks. The next day, due to decreased immunity, I had a high fever and fell into a coma. Unable to respond, I heard the outside world. Doctors called Ken repeatedly for treatment consent, but the family was 50 kilometers away at another hospital. Even Nolan was there. The reason was simple. Clara couldn't cope with the fact only I could donate marrow, and was hospitalized. Ken's voice was harsh. Stop playing along with her. How could donating marrow go wrong? Being near her won't help. Clara nearly cut her wrists, needing family now. Stop being unreasonable, or stop being a daughter. The system's alert drilled into my brain. Goodwill detected dropping. 982. Desperately, I held on, preserving the remaining goodwill. But I missed timely treatment, leading to vascular occlusion, muscle atrophy, and a limp in my right leg. I hobbled home on crutches after discharge. Opening the door, I saw Nolan clinging to Clara in the center of a crowd. Thank you, sister, for saving me with your marrow. For life, you're my only sister. Brother, why not get rid of the excess? A massive sense of absurdity anchored me. Nolan, knowing I donated the marrow, told Ken otherwise. No wonder goodwill didn't rise. Ken approached, towering over me. Clara's depression is acting up once more. We're telling her she saved Nolan. Be careful not to slip up and upset her. After he finished speaking, he shifted his gaze from Clara to me, and a sudden look of disgust appeared in his eyes. You know Clara's in a bad mood, and you're purposely competing for attention with a broken cane? How can you be so scheming? No wonder Clara's depressed. Your good behavior before was all fake, huh? You've been bullying Clara behind our backs, right? Warning, the favorability with the subject has dropped to 1. The mission is about to fail. I heard the system warning and didn't even bother to explain, just said softly. Please don't hate me. If this keeps up, I'm going to die. Ken cut me off swiftly. Then just die already. But you're too attached to the family's wealth, aren't you? What pretending to be sick is exposed. So now you're pretending to be depressed. Do you even know how painful depression is? It's not a joke. Why are you even my sister? With Ken's harsh words, his fondness level dropped to 0. I was deemed to have failed the mission. As I lost consciousness and collapsed, the last sound I heard was Ken's mocking voice fading away. If you have the guts, lie here for a lifetime. Knowing Clara's got depression, and you're pretending to be dead to stimulate her. That's really low. The system's distressed voice brought me back to reality. The male lead wants to commit suicide after you die. If he dies, the whole mini-world will collapse. Without hesitation, I interrupted. Whether he dies or not, whether the world collapses or not, what's it got to do with me? Am I some kind of a soft-hearted fool to you? I couldn't suppress my harshness and anger toward the system. I only realized after leaving the body that failing the mission wouldn't get me erased, but sent back to the original world. It hid the truth for the sake of KPI. The system paused for a moment before lowering its already quiet voice. Just stop the male lead from committing suicide, and we'll give you the ultimate reward. Get lost. Cure Felix's leukemia. I suddenly stopped talking. 3 months ago, my real brother Felix was diagnosed with the same leukemia as Nolan. Even after a bone marrow transplant, chemotherapy, and the risk of relapse couldn't be avoided. I softened my tone. If you can promise my brother's complete recovery, I might consider. System quickly replied, of course. But there's something important we need to discuss. I could hardly believe my ears. Bringing Felix into the book too? What if Ken sees my brother and goes even crazier? System helplessly said, there's no other way. Only then can he be cured of leukemia. Felix, upon hearing this, had his pale face glow with long-lost joy. Great, I can protect my sister. Mom and Dad tried to hide their worry. Lily, whatever you decide, we'll support you unconditionally. But it was my brother, the PhD in artificial intelligence, who acted like a kid taking away my lemon cake in protest. What kind of system is this, trying to take my brother and sister away? When are you coming back, tomorrow or the day after? Or not coming back at all? I took the cake back, smeared cream on his face, pretending to be relaxed. We wouldn't dare stay without coming back. If we really do that, in a few days wouldn't Dr. Henry conquer the system and bring us straight back? Brother retaliated by dotting my nose with cream, smiling. You little brat, sign a forced contract with the system now. As long as you stop Ken from committing suicide, cure Felix's leukemia. The forced contract is to prevent the system from backing out, ensuring the executor gets the reward. The system chuckled awkwardly, softly pleading. Host, we're so close, let's not go through with this, okay? Filing for the contract takes a lot of paperwork, plus it'll affect my ratings. Seeing my brother's determined look, I hesitated for a moment before signing the contract. I'll listen to my brother, it'll put his mind at ease. Holding hands, Felix and I passed through the time-space tunnel, standing in front of Ken's mansion. The Golden Gate arrogantly reflected the midday sun. Just as I was overwhelmed with nostalgia, I was interrupted by a figure racing towards us, flanked by bodyguards. Sis, Nolan's face hadn't changed much from before, now minus the baby fat, exposing a gap-toothed smile. He suddenly clung to my leg, tears quickly soaking my pants. While you were gone, Big Brother only drank all day. And that imposter was busy partying all the time. But you're finally back. You'll love me like before, right? Nolan's glossy eyes fixated on me until Felix's slightly hostile voice drew away his attention. Sis, who's this? No sister of his, so snatching someone else's sister? With some knowledge of my history, Felix's deliberately harsh words easily sparked Nolan's anger. You're the one grabbing sisters. For your information, sister even gave me a bone marrow donation. Her blood runs through me. You little runt, where do you come from, huh? Let go of my sister's hand, or I'll kick you. Seeing he was about to kick Felix's lower half, I quickly pushed Nolan away and picked up Felix. Nolan stumbled backward, with reddened eyes welling up in tears again. Sis, how could you push me away for this little scoundrel? I couldn't help but lower my tone. Nolan, if you ever plan to hurt him again, don't ever come in front of me. Also, he's not some little scoundrel, he's my biological brother. All color drained from Nolan's face. He's your brother, then what am I? I've got your blood in me too. I reminded him lightly as I set Felix down. You're mistaken. It was Clara who donated bone marrow to you. Nolan, biting his lip, remained silent but suddenly shot a sinister glare at Felix. In an instant he morphed back to an innocent expression, rolling up his dress pants. Sis, look at my leg. It's bleeding, blood keeps coming out. Oh, and my platelet count's down to 20. As a leukemia patient's family, I'm fully aware. Nolan's platelets can't let wounds heal, they can't be ignored. Yet as he sat down with a bent leg, refusing the bodyguard's approach, he slowly blended with my memory. Back then, Nolan's platelet count was also at crisis level, but he insisted on playing basketball with Clara. He accidentally fell, and I cushioned his fall. Yet he told Ken, who rushed in. I was behaving myself, watching Sis play, but she wouldn't leave me alone. Knowing I couldn't have wounds, she pushed me. Holding my arm, I whispered defensively. It wasn't like that. They were playing basketball, and I only got involved to save him. Ken cut me off. Enough. He's only 5. Can he lie? Are you seriously trying to throw dirt on Clara by dragging a kid into this? Since then my arm hasn't straightened right. It was a long time before I found out it had healed wrong after a fracture. The pain started throbbing again, and I stepped back away from Nolan. The butler rushed over, trembling as he reported. Master, something terrible has happened. The older young master is trying to jump off the building. I sorted Felix out and ran to the rooftop of the villa. As soon as I grabbed the door handle, someone crashed into me. Their sharp bones poked me painfully as Clara, eyes bruised and glaring, spat. It's you, how dare you? I had no time to deal with her. Kim was pointing in my direction, shouting. It's all because of you, you pretentious depressed jerk, that I lost my sister. How dare you show your face and pretend to care about me? If you really care, then jump. Lily, without you, what's the point of living? As Ken said this, he stepped over the railing, and my heart raced. Wait. Ken turned, his gaze fixating on my face for a few seconds, and suddenly his eyes went misty. Lily, is it really you? Am I dreaming? Barely managing a smile, Ken staggered, clutching my arm tightly. It's good to have you back. All those things you did before, your brother doesn't hold them against you. I was harsh then, but I was misguided by the wrong people. I've already kicked out the one who destroyed our bond, just for you. Turning my head away from the heavy scent of alcohol on Ken, I couldn't help but ask the system. If Ken keeps doing this life or death thing, I can't stay here forever, right? The system quietly replied. Relax, we've already arranged for a new male lead in this world. You just need to keep the male lead alive for another month. That's much easier. I turned, smiling at Ken's sunken eyes. I want you to come with me to a place. I led a completely unsuspecting Ken to a dungeon deep below. The chill in the air clawed at my skin, as Ken traced the large rust stains on the iron door, speaking gently. Didn't think you'd remember this place. Of course I wouldn't forget. After Clara tried committing suicide by jumping into the pool at the recognition banquet, I stayed here for a month. Ken cut the power, and living in unchanging darkness drove me insane. He laughed lightly. Now you can somewhat feel Clara's depression, darkness inside and out. Nolan snuck in to whip me with chains. You terrible thing. This is for hurting my sister. Remembering this, I pushed Ken into the room, sitting him on a custom iron chair. Before he could react, I quickly fastened chains around his hands and feet. Ken didn't resist. Lily, what's this about? I mimicked Nolan's self-righteous tone. This is fun. I'm going to lock you up to play. Struggling to control my nerves, Ken suddenly laughed. No one knows a brother like his sister does. When I missed you, I'd lock myself in here. But if I stay here, what if you sneak away, Lily? That seemed like a yes, so I laughed back. Don't worry. I'll come to see you every day. Once outside, I threw a glance at the butler. You know what to say, right? He bowed deeply at 90 degrees. The young master instructed earlier that if anyone asks about his whereabouts, I'm to say he's gone on a trip abroad, not coming back for a while. Leaving the villa, the summer breeze mixed with the scent of sunshine hit me, and I felt refreshingly calm. Keeping Ken locked up for a month meant he couldn't harm himself or meet Felix. 3/4 of the time passed as planned, until I got a call from the elementary school. Miss Lily, your brother's in trouble. On the way there, I kept wondering, was putting Felix in a school under the Ken family a mistake? My nerves eased only after seeing him smile sweetly at me from the classroom doorway. Today's lunch had your favorite lemon cake. I saved it just for you. I teased him by tweaking his nose, then turned to the teacher. Who made the call? What's going on? The teacher hesitated, casting a glance at the neighboring classroom, from which Nolan's shrill voice rang out. What's this phony doing here? Didn't you hear the teacher say my real sister's picking me up? A book flew into the hall, and Clara, with tear-reddened eyes, rushed out to retrieve it, standing frozen when she saw me. Nolan followed, using his backpack to hit Clara on the head. Get lost and never show your face to me again. You've ruined my relationship with my sister, and now you've got her doting on that brat. You're both scum vermin poop. If only neither of you existed. Finishing, he noticed Clara's gaze fixated on me, his expression instantly changing to innocence as he ran over. Sis, you finally came for me. I've been so good lately, buying snacks and copying homework for your brother. Today, how about taking me home alone? I gently pushed away his hand as he reached for me. I heard every word you just said. Nolan's expression didn't change, gripping my hand stubbornly. So what? I'm a kid. I can make mistakes. Realizing how tiresome this was becoming, I shook his hand off and took Felix's, who was biting his lip, speaking the words that should have been said long ago. Nolan, you never acknowledged me as your sister. Now, I refuse to acknowledge you as my brother. Stop with the tricks, and don't ever offend my only brother, Felix. Felix and I sat on the grass, finishing the lemon cake. Upon arrival at the Ken family's villa, the butler unusually waited at the door. Miss, something terrible has happened. Clara broke into the basement and took the young master. My mind buzzed loudly, and above me came Clara's excited voice. I'm definitely going to expose her real face today. She stood on the rooftop yelling down at me. Hey, if you want to save Ken, get up here fast. By the time I reached there, Ken was bound and thrown near the roof's edge. Clara kept mock-kicking him, gritting her teeth fiercely. If I give him a little push, Ken's gonna fall and die. Didn't you keep saying he's like a brother you cherish? Aren't you gonna do something? I lowered my voice. What do you want me to do? Clara scoffed. Jump off right now, and I'll let him go. I quickly asked the system. If I jump and die, but Ken lives till the set time, can I still get the reward? Yeah, you could, but it's not a great idea. In the real world, you'd end up brain dead too. I hesitated for a bit, and Ken yelled, Lily, don't be stupid. If only one of us can live, I'd rather die for you. Clara leaned weakly on the railing, looking at Ken like a stranger. Look, I have long hair you like, and this white dress you love. I'm the one you care about the most, amn't I? Why are you ignoring me? Say something. While Clara was going crazy, shaking Ken, I edged closer with my heart in my throat. She suddenly dangled half of Ken's body off the edge, laughing hysterically. We promised to die on the same day, month, and year. Since you chose to betray, let's die together now. Blood rushed to my head, and I shouted, Clara, why do you put all your love on Ken? There are other people who care about you. Clara stopped, wiping her tears repeatedly, glaring at me bitterly. What do you understand? Ken is the most important to me. If he hadn't saved me that rainy night, I'd be dead. Those words threw me into a whirl. Rainy night. Save you? But. I paused before speaking. But it was me who saved you that night. That day, Clara had a depressive episode and ran out in the storm. When I found her, some guys had her pinned against a dumpster, her white dress ripped. I barely remember driving them off. All I recall is getting slashed on my right arm and Clara fainting, though we got out relatively unharmed. Clara screamed, "Liar! The one who saved me was my brother. He wore my favorite brown jacket, there's no mistake." I shouted to Ken, "Say something. You even said I ruined Clara's favorite jacket and made me kneel outside the store for 2 hours." I explained I grabbed the wrong one in a rush to find her. Ken shifted his gaze. "It was so long ago, I can't recall." Anger caught in my throat. Lucky the brown jacket's still around. The long scar on the right arm remains. I rolled up my sleeve, showing the ugly, scarring spider on my arm. "See for yourself if it's a match." Clara's eyes widened as she pulled Ken back, lifting his sleeve. His arm was smooth. She collapsed into my arms, sobbing. This embrace, I remember it now. It was you, really you. What have I done? After Clara left, I turned to Ken. He'd already unchained himself and came over with a smile. "Lily, congratulations on passing my test. I'll never doubt you again. From now on, you're my beloved sister." Time flew to the last day, right on the Mid-Autumn Festival. I planned to do nothing, waiting with Felix until midnight. But Ken invited me early to a banquet. He said there'd be a special surprise. I was ready to refuse when his determined gaze changed my mind. The banquet was full of fancily dressed people. Felix and I were finding some quiet in a corner, but Nolan found us. He eyed my casual clothes, blurting, "Sis, didn't you wear the dress Ken got you? That's just poor." He stopped, thrusting something into my hands. "Anyway, here's my mid-autumn gift for you." He gave a few exaggerated blinks, and I glanced at the rabbit lantern, realizing his intent. I made a rabbit lantern for Nolan once. Bamboo frame, tissue paper, and child-safe light strings. After more than 50 failures, my bones aching from it all, I crafted the prettiest one. I presented it, hands bloodied, hoping he'd like it. He gave it a glance, stomped on it while I was there. He wiped his hands with a wet wipe, sneering, "What's this cheap junk? Touching it makes my skin crawl, just like you. Did you dig it out from the trash to make me sick?" His high-end leather shoe crushed my hand as I reached for the lantern. In front of me, he flashed another lantern. "My sister gave me this. You're a toad, she's a swan. I'll never want anything from you." With those memories, I coldly tossed the lantern back at Nolan. "No, take it away." The light in his eyes dimmed instantly. Yet, he stubbornly held the lantern out, like he would forever if I didn't accept. The lantern fell, getting crushed under Felix's returning step. Nolan burst out, "You did that on purpose. Jealous of my cool lantern?" Felix replied, lantern in his left hand shaking, catching Nolan's eye. "No, I didn't see it roll over." Nolan grabbed at it. "How can you have my sister's lantern? Give it here." Felix clutched it, refusing. "No way, it's a gift. I'll pay you for yours." Nolan scoffed. "Like I'd need money as you do? I'll give you whatever I command you to give, no room for you to say no. Got it?" Hearing this, I couldn't help but hug Felix tightly. "It's okay, leave this to your big sis." I patted his head and glanced at Nolan with his familiar overpowering look. I finally said what I'd been holding back for so long. "If young Master Ken insists my brother compensates, I'll compensate you with an LV lantern. Also, there's no way I'd want anything from you in this lifetime." His face turned pale as paper instantly. Ken popped up from God knows where, breaking the awkward silence. "What are you guys talking about? You seem to have fun." No one replied, so he turned to me, showing an open red velvet box in his palm. "This is my first surprise gift for you." A violet flower ring sat quietly inside, valuable purple jade reflecting the dazzling lights painfully in my eyes. The 3 custom rings symbolized the eternal bond of the Ken siblings. Back then, I was so focused on wooing Ken, I didn't even think about the ring. At a party, I found one by my foot and planned to ask who lost it. Ken suddenly grabbed my wrist. His voice wasn't loud, but it drew everyone's eyes to me. "I'm so disappointed in you. Knowing Clara's depressed, how could you steal her ring and trigger her? You've returned to Ken family, why isn't it enough? Are you willing to steal for more?" "What's that? You say you didn't steal? Clara loves this ring. How could she lose it? Don't waste your breath denying it, thief. Ken's voice pulled my thoughts back. Even if you shouldn't have stolen the ring then, it means you must really like it to do so. Today I formally give it to you. From now on, don't steal what you like, just tell me and you'll have it. Felix's frail shoulders heaved sharply, a sign he was about to stand up for me. I quickly pulled his hand, signaling him not to make a scene before going home. Ken's admirers started gathering around. I felt like I was back then, branded a thief, pointed at and judged. Ignoring the humiliation, Clara's clear voice rang through. I purposely dropped it to frame her back then. With her hair cut short and sharp, she walked over, hand out to me. Lily, I'm sorry. I shook her hand back. Ken's face clouded like a storm as he said in a low voice. Think you'll sow discord between me and my sister by embarrassing me in public? Get lost if you're faking depression. Then he turned to me, back to his gentle and noble demeanor. Let's not talk about the past. I'll have the butler send the ring to your room. You'll like the next gift even more. Ken walked up to the stage with long strides, holding a mic. Today's my sister Lily's recognition banquet. Here, I introduce Ken family's dearest to everyone. With your blessings, we'll always be family, never apart. Looking at Ken beckoning me to the stage, I felt at the wrong place at the wrong time. As smart as he is, does he really not know? Some things once missed when you wanted them the most don't matter anymore. But with an hour till midnight, afraid Ken might suspect, I was about to go up and speak casually. Suddenly a choice popped in my mind. Do you choose to stay? Yes. Default option. Deny Ken publicly and leave this world. I asked the system in shock. What's going on? The system murmured. Ken's the protagonist here. It's not surprising he has some privileges. I just wanted my real family, stuck there not knowing what to do. A spotlight suddenly shone, along with Ken's cheerful voice. My sister's too shy to come on stage. Host, you see how Ken cares for you, maybe stay? I ignored the system. I endured with impatience till the last 5 minutes, grabbed the mic and denied. I'm not some heiress, I'm Lily. Yet the choice remained fixed on staying in this world. I sternly asked the system. I've denied it publicly, why won't it work? It hesitated and said, because Ken thinks you're just angry. It doesn't count as denial. Host, you know Ken's heart's already breaking. Maybe just stay? It said it so lightly, but I realized it instantly. Past defenses and this denial. Ken never truly heard me, he just assumed. Others ignored me following Ken's lead. So, I snatched a bottle, smashed it on the mic hard. The sharp blast finally caught everyone's attention. The clock ticked 0:5x, and it pointed straight at midnight. Felix's leukemia healed. The burden lifted, I felt lighter. I couldn't reach you before. I don't want it now, nor in future. I'm Lily. Big brother Henry, little brother Felix, and mom and dad. They're my true family. Others regretting and feeling lesser than grass have nothing to do with me. Gasps filled the air, and the option slid to leave this world. I held Felix's hand tight, rushed to my room as fast as snatching food at the cafeteria, where I agreed with the system to leave from. Just like it said, the closet turned into a time-space tunnel, edges warped. Holding Felix's damp hand, 1 foot lifted. Ken's voice stopped me from behind. Don't move. I didn't look back, but his ragged breaths hit my ears. Leave and I'll die. Who are those nobodies? How did they brainwash you? Why give up Ken family's wealth to be a slave to them? He spoke with objects slicing through the air. Annoyed, I glanced at his bleeding arm, sneering. Ken, you do you. Don't need to report to me. Understand real family feuds but will never threaten. So, can we drop this I love you best as a brother act? It's sickening. All you did was because you couldn't stand me leaving and trying to regain control over me. And don't mention my family, you don't deserve to. 6 I let out a sigh of relief after speaking, and Felix made a funny face, something he hadn't done in a while. Ken had a stern look, staring at me like I was a stranger. I just want to ask one thing. Are you really leaving no matter what? I pulled Felix toward the portal and answered Ken with my actions. But soon after I noticed something. It was just a regular wardrobe, not a time-space portal at all. I looked at Ken, standing there with arms crossed, and felt a crawling sensation on my back like ants. System, what's going on here? The system's mischievous laugh echoed in my head. as if all its previous distress was non-existent. Of course, I teamed up with the main guy to fool you. There's no switching for a new main lead. The main guy in this world is always Ken. But as long as you stay, he won't off himself. I just needed more time to see if I could convince you to stay willingly. I yelled, my voice warping with anger. I was trying to help you, and you tricked me again? The system chuckled. It's all about mutual benefits. No one's noble here. The main guy's handsome, rich, and loves you deeply. Why wouldn't you want to stick around to be his light? I got a bit distracted. Then suddenly someone pushed me, throwing me off balance. When I came to, Felix was already in Ken's tight embrace. There was now an invisible barrier between us. Host signed the permanent stay agreement now. Its smug voice echoed louder and louder in my head. Clara suddenly appeared behind Ken, pressing a dagger to his neck. She gave me a smile that said, here we go. Helping you out this time cancels out that rainy day debt. She really came to help as promised. I nodded gratefully and threatened the system coldly. Let Felix and me go, or I'll kill Ken and destroy your world. The system made panic-static noises, and Ken shouted first. You can't let them go, or I'll off myself and destroy your world. The system kept crashing and rebooting, and after a while, a sinister electronic voice rang out. I've got it. Kill this child. She's responsible for her brother's death, and the Fong family will never forgive her. She'd have to rely on the family's love to survive. I slammed against the invisible wall in desperation. Nobody touches my brother. But suddenly Nolan appeared, raising a fruit knife aimed at Felix's heart. As I screamed for Felix to run, someone landed grandly from above, kicking Nolan's knife away. You think you can harm my brother? Seeing his face, my nose tingled, bro. My brother turned his head, his neck cracking, his eyes red and pained. I'm here. Sorry I broke in too late. I shook my head vigorously and Ken roared, she's calling me bro. Why the reply? I'm the brother here. Come on. She'll call me brother if I share half my stock. But no one cared what he said anymore. My brother held Felix and me by our hands, ready to walk into the portal when the unexpected happened. Ken willingly walked into the knife, piercing half his neck. Blood gushed out as the ground shook violently. Stuff from the table crashed to the floor, and the time portal began to collapse. I clung to my brother's hand in fear, and he squeezed it back, taking out his notebook to rapidly type away on the keyboard. After a while he chuckled, all solved. He nodded towards Ken. I tricked that evil system into his body and synced it with his sensory nerves. It should now feel pain 1,000,000 times over. I also programmed it to choose a new host only when Ken dies and Nolan grows up. The system hissed, Tisk, it's only a few years. I can execute your new command in no time. My life is nearly eternal. This time's a mere drop. My brother sneered, haven't you noticed? Ken's actions caused the world to crumble, leaving this room untouched. And this room's frozen in time, eternally at that second before Ken's death. So yes, the main lead will always be Ken. I didn't quite understand it all, but I knew they'd be stuck here forever. I looked at Clara. What about you? Clara shrugged. I'll stay and watch these lunatics for you. I've wronged you so much before, got to atone somehow. Else in my next life, I'd need to pay back by being your servant. With my brother's repair work, the collapsed portal restored quickly. We held hands and stepped inside. We left behind Ken's pleas, Nolan's cries, and the system's screams. Standing at the familiar street corner, I felt dazed, like I'd been away for ages. No wonder when Felix and I left, cicadas were buzzing everywhere. Now their song was gone. Thankfully, the hated memories vanished with the past summer. Fall symbolizing reunion was arriving just in time. My brother raised his arms. Let's hit the grocery store. My treat today. The end.